Well, welcome back, everyone. Next Saturday, we're inviting the entire Greater Lansing community to show up in your best purple and head to the Capitol lawn for Purple Out Day. We are honoring survivors and their resiliency. And we have the Tanisha Shakur in studio with us today, who is behind this beautiful celebration. I'm so glad to have you here in studio this time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, you have such a powerful story and incredible work it is that you really have made your life work. The fact that this is what you do from 9 to 5 is that you help survivors and really show them that, hey, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even though it doesn't look like it. And you're doing that with Purple Out Day. Tell us what that's all about.
So Purple Out Day is a day first to acknowledge that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and there's an opportunity to bring awareness and resources all in one space to celebrate the resilience of survivors and their journeys, and to have fun, to have families there as well.
Yeah, and why is it so important to incorporate that joy? Because like you said, you know, when you hear the word domestic violence, you're not thinking positively. That's not going to trigger happy thoughts, but you wanted to make sure joy was still a part of this event. Tell me how you're centering that.
I think it's important for people to know that even through their journeys, there's a part of self-care that takes place, that there is greater on the other end of that journey, and it's so critical that people get to experience that, and that it doesn't have to be the sum of your life, and that we overcome, and there's victory. So, and that's what we want to focus on.
That's right, and that promise that, hey, there is victory. It doesn't look like it right now.
Yes.
But trust me, there is a life on the other side of this.
Yes.
But that's not the only celebrating we're doing. We're going to celebrate your nonprofit, Voices of Color.
Yes.
10 years. Now tell me a little bit about what are you most proud of over these past 10 years?
Oof. I would say just every person that I've been able to touch, to talk to, and to see them years later, and they're prospering and they're doing well, and to see them at the grocery store, whatever it may be, is to know they made it. To know they made it. Right. Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing.
You see them at the valley, you see them at the top of the mountain. You get a chance to see both of them and that entire journey. Well, at this event, you're working with a lot of different community partners who are truly in this with you, including the Mikey 23 Foundation. I wanted to focus on them. Tell me a little bit about what their role is next Saturday.
So the Mikey 23 Foundation, we are actually collaborating in the Bloom Against Violence community project on the Capitol lawn, where we will be planting flowers in purple buckets just to bring awareness, and those buckets will be dispersed throughout the city, throughout the state, to bring awareness, and because we know gun violence and domestic violence intersect, and so we want to bring that together.
Yeah. Now, Tanisha, what are some of those misconceptions people have about domestic violence? I feel like a lot of times we don't actually know what this is. The definition is pretty broad. Can you explain that?
Two that really stand out to me right now is that domestic violence is just physical. We know that there are other forms of domestic violence, whether it be emotional, economic, sexual abuse, and also that it only happens to men. I think oftentimes that conversation is not had. We know it's primarily reported by women, but that it does happen to other men as well, and also those in same-sex relationships.
Okay, and that's good to know, and because I feel like a lot of times the solution, the first thing that we have to change, maybe it's us. Maybe we have to take the first step. Even if we're not in that situation, talk to us about how we can all be a better ally.
First, getting educated. Oftentimes people feel like they are informed about domestic violence, but there are so many dynamics to domestic violence. So first, getting the opportunity, ask for training, allow Voices of Color to come in to your organization or individually to train, and then being a part of the conversations, whether it's from your church or not.
That's right. Well, Tanisha, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the work that you're doing at this event. And of course, if you guys are interested in going, the information is listed below. But if you do know anyone who is suffering at the hands of domestic violence or someone who needs an intervention, you can also contact Voices of Color with that information listed below and really learn more about Tanisha's story too. You'll understand why we're both so passionate, why so many of us are passionate about this story and about Voices of Color. So thank you.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, moving on.